The philosophy of the grass is always greener on the other side speaks to a timeless human tendency to idealize what lies beyond reach, assuming it will satisfy in ways our current situation does not. It's a mindset that whispers, if only I had that, then I'd be happy. But often, upon crossing that fence, we find ourselves peering back, longing for what we left behind. This pattern, a carousel of craving and regret, shapes much of our collective discontent. Welcome to the Disenchanted, where we question everything, especially the status quo. This channel is all about honest engagement. We encourage critical thinking. We will not be conformed to social constructs, societal narratives, and toxic positivity. There are no rose-colored glasses here. Please do share your thoughts and opinions below, and like and subscribe. The mic is hot. Let's consider the classic scenario of the city dweller who dreams of the peace and simplicity of country life. Overwhelmed by urban congestion, noise, and the unending rush, they sell their condo, pack up, and move out to a sleepy town. But after a few months of idyllic countryside life, they begin to miss the hum of the city. They find the quiet isn't peaceful, it's stifling. They miss the ease of popping into a favorite cafe, the diversity of people, the vibrancy they left behind. And they start to imagine how much better their life would be if they moved back to the city, a little closer to that perfect neighborhood they never quite managed to reach the first time. Then there's the career changer, disillusioned by a desk job. I'd be happier if I could work with my hands, they say, picturing a life free from screens and emails, filled with tangible tasks. But after leaping into a manual trade, they soon tire of the aches, the wear on their body, the early mornings. What they once romanticized now feels like drudgery, and they find themselves craving the convenience, the comfort, and, let's face it, the air conditioning of the office life they left behind. And so the cycle begins again. Perhaps one of the most potent examples of this philosophy can be seen in relationships. People in long-term partnerships sometimes find themselves fantasizing about the thrill of dating again, the spark of something new. They see others, the single ones, living lives that seem thrilling and adventurous, unburdened by the routines and responsibilities that come with commitment. Meanwhile, those very singles look at couples with a pang of envy, wishing for stability, someone to come home to, the kind of security that only years together can build. Both are convinced that the other side holds the answer to their restlessness, when in fact, each contains its own unique mix of joy and disappointment. This pursuit of greener pastures often leaves people feeling trapped in a loop of dissatisfaction, where nothing ever seems enough. Even worse, it breeds a certain numbness, a lingering sense that happiness is always somewhere else, always just out of reach. Like a mirage in the desert, the closer we get, the further it seems to slip away. The disenchanted truth is that we aren't wired to feel content with what we have, not for long anyway. We adapt, acclimate, and soon begin eyeing what we don't possess. Think about the phenomenon of lifestyle inflation. As people earn more, they quickly upgrade their living standards, convinced these new comforts will finally bring the fulfillment they crave. But after the initial thrill of a better car, a bigger house, or more exotic vacations fades, they're right back to that familiar itch. The upgraded life becomes the new normal, and once again, satisfaction is somewhere further along, waiting in the next upgrade. Or consider the world of social media, a real-time, never-ending showcase of greener lives. Scrolling through endless snapshots of others' highlight reels, a friend's vacation to a place you've never been, a colleague's new home that outshines yours, a couple's anniversary at a place you didn't even know existed, feeds the sensation that you're always one step behind. What you have, no matter how wonderful it once seemed, somehow feels lesser in comparison. The irony is that most people are posting their own idealized version of life, often feeling just as inadequate and envious as the ones viewing their feed. Even our definitions of success, love, and happiness seem to be shaped by this endless comparison. We tend to build them around cultural ideals or social expectations, rather than looking inward to define what truly resonates with us. We're left forever chasing an image of success that someone else, somewhere, has painted in our minds. This is the ultimate disenchantment, realizing that much of our own ambitions are fueled by other people's standards, and not by anything inherently fulfilling to us. But what's to be done? The allure of the other side is so deeply ingrained that it feels almost impossible to escape. The pull is everywhere. Advertisements insist that we'll be happier with the latest gadget. Our social feeds suggest that others are living better, and even well-meaning advice nudges us toward paths that might suit others more than ourselves. The cure, if there is one, may lie in learning to appreciate the present for what it is, rather than for what it might be missing. It's the difficult, often uncomfortable art of contentment, a discipline that requires us to sit still, to resist the urge to cross fences, and to accept that satisfaction is less about where we are and more about how we see. Ultimately, the grass on our side will only become greener when we learn to tend to it ourselves, focusing on the richness that comes from committing to a place, a path, a life, and letting it grow beneath our feet. But in a world that rewards restless ambition and holds up the next best thing like a golden trophy, that kind of peace can seem the hardest prize of all to win. At the heart of this mindset lies the problem of perception, of turning our gaze outwards, away from ourselves, searching for fulfillment in the unknown, rather than looking inward to see what's possible with what we have. In truth, the grass on the other side might be greener, but only because it's lit from a different angle, at a different time of day, or perhaps simply because we're squinting through rose-tinted glasses. The allure fades quickly once we're standing on it, and it's only then we realize that the grass on the other side was never that different after all. Until we meet again, question everything you've been told, and embrace the disenchanted truth.